Hey everybody and welcome back. I apologize up front if you hear any noise. We are having our roof done today. You'll probably hear that in a few more videos, but the show must go on. So we are here today to talk about my go-to powder foundation routine. I have been doing this for like probably a month and a half solid now. I don't think that I've worn one time in the past month and a half I have worn a liquid foundation. This is just so easy, effortless, and most of all, it looks natural, which to me is the most important thing because I feel like I can go outside confidently, whereas sometimes I feel like liquid foundation will look too heavy on me, especially with being oily. I either have to apply it and a powder and a setting spray and then blot throughout the day. But with this, it will keep me mostly matte through most of the day, and then I will just start kind of to glisten and glow as opposed to looking crazy oily. So this is my absolute favorite thing of the moment. It's super easy. I know a lot of us feel like powder foundations, either you can't get the coverage level that you would like, or it just doesn't look right on your skin. It's not sitting right. And part of that is finding the right powder foundation for you. I talk about my favorite one and also a few others that I have tried in the tutorial portion of this, but also the other part of it is just applying it in a way that makes it become one with your skin and not sit on top and not irritate your skin too much by constantly brushing around. So we will go ahead and get right into the tutorial part. You are seeing the finished product. I don't apply the contour, bronzer, highlight, blush, all of that stuff in this, but it's standard. It's what I apply every single time. I will list everything down below that I am wearing. This is just about applying some primer, concealer, and foundation, just the base products. I do have a camera-ready foundation routine using liquid foundation. It is very like intensive with like lots of products layered on and stuff. I will link that down below. It's from quite a while ago, but that is still what I do if I'm using a liquid foundation whenever I'm getting ready to film. I did also go ahead and film this eye look. It is a quick and easy 5-minute out the door eye look. Super simple, what I've been going to lately also. So this is basically my whole like go-to routine lately. Whenever I just don't have time, but I need to film or I need to get out and go somewhere or have things that I have to go do. So look out for that. It will probably be up a couple videos after this one because I like to just kind of break it up a little bit. I do have a mascara review coming up also. That will probably be the next video. And it is going to be, here they are, 3 Essence mascaras reviewed all in, I don't know what that was, all in one video. So look out for that, and do please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, leave a comment, share. I know you guys are probably aware that YouTube is really trying to starve the smaller channels. They are not promoting us like they used to, and it's getting very hard to grow whenever, you know, you're putting out content, but YouTube just doesn't like you. So, you know, any little bit of channel engagement that I can get does help with that. So thank you all for your support. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye. Alright guys, I have already primed my face today with a new primer to me, but it is the Hard Candy Pore Defense Serum Primer. I like to always use a pore filling or pore minimizing type of primer, but you can use whatever primer you would like. I will say this, however, though. If you choose to use a primer that is more hydrating or has a lot of tack to it after it's applied, I would say to go in with a really, really light hand and just dust all over a translucent setting powder of your choice. It doesn't matter which one. And just really set that primer down, because if you put on your pigmented powder foundation over it, it's going to cling in weird ways and look patchy. So you want it to be as flawless of a base as possible. So if you have a primer that is not super silky after you put it on, go ahead and take a light dusting of powder over it. But do remember though to keep the powder away from, you know, your eye region right here. Just go around everywhere else though. And then we're gonna go in with concealer. I like to just use a little Real Techniques eye sponge for it. I like to do a little bit of color correcting first, especially if I'm filming, and then I will go in with my regular concealer. Nothing really gets rid of my dark circles completely, no matter what combination of concealers that I use, but as long as it's minimized, I'm okay with that. I use the NYX Dark Circle concealer, and I have mine in medium. It's a nice kind of peachy salmon color. And then, making sure that that's fairly well set in, I'm going to go in with my liquid concealer. I don't like to use powder concealers because I feel like they make my under eyes look way too dry and crepey. I do have like tiny little lines that kind of swoop out from my lash line. I think a lot of us have those. Some of us are blessed not to, but I have them. So I do like to try to use liquid or cream concealers whenever possible. I'm going to go in with my Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer in Porcelain. And whenever I'm doing powder foundation, I do not go in super heavy with the concealer. I don't drag it all the way down and stuff because you don't want it to interfere too much with the powder foundation. I like to kind of just hit my trouble spots. I do get a little bit red along the top of my cheekbones, so I will go ahead and do that. And then anywhere that I have a spot, blemish, redness, I will go ahead and hit it with that right there, usually around the nose, always a little bit of something, something. I have a little blemish there, gotta look in the mirror. And then I'm kind of having a bad week with my chin, so just put it all over there. I'm not too concerned about covering every little thing. It doesn't bother me, but this is how much I usually do. And then I like to just go over the smaller areas first and then hit the eyes. Now that we have the eyes done for concealer, I like to just take my sponge and run it in the opposite direction just to get it out of those creases that I have. And once I make sure all of those are gone, I will go in and set my under eyes with a translucent powder. This time around, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in number 100. And I just like to use this Royal & Langnickel contour brush. Just kind of load it up with a decent amount so that you can really set it down completely. And then I will go ahead and put that anywhere where I put the concealer, just lightly all over those areas. Just so that anything liquid that we put on our face that has not sunk in completely can be set down before we go in with the powder foundation. Now that that is done, we are going to move right along to my powder foundation. This is the brush that I use every single time. It is the Real Techniques buffing brush. It is different from the Expert Face brush. I do not like that brush. Can't stand it. It doesn't make anything that I put on look good. This one I believe is part of a set. I don't think that you can get it separately, but the set overall is good anyway, so I would recommend it. And it does have a really good contour brush, my favorite contour brush in there too. So this is what I use for it. Now I do have several, I'm looking at them right now, several different powder foundations, but they all seem to have varying levels of matching my skin tone perfectly and also coverage. So I do have the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous powder that I think they might have discontinued now. I don't know, but that was pretty good, but it's very light coverage. It's pretty sheer. So whenever I really want to look mostly flawless and like I have foundation on and like I gave a damn, I do like to go in with one that's a little bit more heavy duty. The only one that I have found that I really, really like and that actually performs and makes my skin look so good and doesn't make me look like I'm wearing powder is this one from Tarte. It is the Double Duty Beauty Confidence Creamy Powder Foundation. I have mine in light beige. This stuff is so amazing. I love it. I use it all the time. I feel like I've got a little bit of a dent going on in there. I don't know if you can tell, but this is what we're going to do. I like to work in sections. I will do one cheek, the other cheek, and then the forehead. And what I like to do is kind of avoid this area altogether don't put the foundation there at all. And then as the final step, I will just lightly go over it so that it melds everything together. So that's what we're gonna do. I like to just take my brush and kind of roughly swirl it in there so that it really picks up a lot. And I don't know if you can tell, but there is powder just sitting on there. So I kind of like to just tap into that. And then we're going to push the powder into our skin, not too hard, but just push it in there and kind of work it in without rubbing. You know what I mean? Just watch. So what we did there is you're putting it on here and rubbing the bristles, but not really letting the bristles rub against your skin. You're moving the bristles, but not moving them against your skin. It's just one of those things you have to feel to see if you're doing it correctly. But I like to do that because it just really pushes it into your skin without being too harsh. And then once we have all of it kind of placed where we would like it, then I like to go over it a little bit more lightly and just buff everything in so that it's smooth and finished. And always get the ear also. So now that we have worked that all into our skin using that kind of motion like that, then we're going to take more on our brush and just lightly go over everything with a really light hand and just buff it all in down the neck, under your chin, around your mouth, just everywhere. And whenever I get to the nose, just so that nothing rubs off, I like to just kind of tap it into my nose so that it gets everything even. And I do the same around my eyebrows because that is a problem area for getting everything to stick properly. So I will just do it like that. And then just keep going until you have all of it lightly blended into your skin. And you can use this step also to build up your coverage level to whatever you desire. I usually like to just go kind of medium to medium full. You can build this powder all the way up to full coverage, but I feel like doing that with almost any powder foundation, it just starts to look very heavy, and I don't want that look for me. Now that you've done that, we still have this under eye that we haven't really touched. I'm just going to take a little bit of powder on my brush, just lightly, and just so lightly. Just go like this, just to blend that area together a little bit. You're not going all the way up to under your eye, but you're just kind of meshing it together. I feel like a super bright under eye where there's like a clear line of delineation, it just doesn't look how I would want to look in public. No shade, no shade to anybody, but we all have our own personal preferences, and that's just not what I would feel comfortable with. Of course, if you do want something more distinct or however, whatever the appropriate word is, then by all means just don't blend up as high and just keep it nice and low. Looking at it in the mirror, this looks really good. I like this. If I'm not talking through this, I can do this in 5 minutes flat. It's so easy, and that's why I love a pressed powder foundation. Because I have tried Bare Minerals and other loose powder foundations. They just seem to take so much longer for me. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to work the way I would like it to. So this is it, guys. That's the extent of it. It's so super easy. And then I will just go in with contour, blush, bronzer, highlight, eyeshadow, brows, lipstick, setting powder, all of that, or setting spray, all of that good stuff. I will tell you that I have been using the Skindinavia Oil Control Makeup Finishing Spray. This was recommended to me by one of you lovely ladies, Nurse Jackie. Thank you so much. This is working out great. I'm really, really loving this. It doesn't keep me matte all day long, but I notice that whenever I do start to get a little bit glistening, it really is just like I'm kind of glowy instead of oily. So this is really, really great. So there you have it. That is my whole powder foundation routine. I feel like it looks pretty darn flawless, as well as flawless as it can get on a flawed person. I love it. I would highly recommend trying a powder foundation if you have not already, or if you're just trying to find one that you really like and that meshes well with you. Try the Tarte one if you can find it in your shade. But I will say I have tried MAC and Cover FX. I did not like either one of those. They were so bad looking on my skin. Have not tried the Estee Lauder Double Wear powder, but they do have a larger shade range in that, so that might be really good. Don't know yet. I do plan on trying that soon, though. I would like to. So yeah, that is it. I hope that you guys got some good information out of this, and it helped you to, you know, figure out how to do this whole powder foundation thing. That is it, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.